Okay. 3, 2, 1. Life. Hey friends, how you doing? It is Ernie. How you doing on this Monday morning? And it's a beautiful Monday morning here in the northeast of the United States. Sunny, dry, cool. Could be a little bit warmer. I think it's around 67, 68 or something. I prefer 75. That's just right for me. But it is beautiful nonetheless. Sadly, only a few more official days left of summer, and only a few more days before I pull back the amazing discount that we have on the PatternCast service that is winning so damn much that, quite frankly, it's starting to get boring. Winning boring. No, winning is not boring. So right now, the PatternCast Bitcoin service had another winner last night, although we're still in the trade. I mean, that is if you choose to be in the trade. You could easily have taken $300 profit or so. It's a short. We think that it has a long ways to go. It's probably going to drop down to the mid 9,000s in my estimation. We have, and if it does so today, which, I mean, that would be quite a feat. We also have a long in place at around $9,200. Now these signals are conditional, obviously. Not all of them hit. I would say about 30 to 35% of them actually trigger. But other ones that have triggered so far in the Bitcoin PatternCast service, which has been in service now for 3 weeks, we have had 13 of 14 of those signals turn out to be winning signals. I don't want to say winning trades because they're not necessarily trades. They can be used to set up your own trades, that's for sure. And had you would have made out extremely well. Extremely well. So I don't know. Are there other services out there that are providing this kind of consistency? Seriously. I want you to consider something too. You know, if you've watched me for a while, you know that I reel or rail or disparage or disencourage the use of technical analysis. Now, you might be saying, oh, hey on, nerdy, technical analysis, that's real shit, right? And I don't know how many other ways that I can prove it to you that it is total crap. Now, that comes with a caveat. Technical analysis at one point was used as sort of a way to illustrate the narrative of traders and investors that were trying to show patterns and other things and momentum that they felt were significant. They weren't trading with it, though. It wasn't until the 80s and the 90s, particularly when the internet came online, that the brokers found that, hey, this is something that we could sell to people. We could sell to people and get them to create transactions for us. Get them involved, get them hungry, get their crazy betting, gambling mind going. And I've said this in the past that I was there actually implementing these strategies in ways, or helping the brokers and the big guys. I mean, that's what I did. And I even got caught up in it. I thought that technical analysis was something, but I read something the other day that said technical analysis is like trying to drive a car by looking in the rearview mirror. Just think about that. Would you get in your car and then start going forward and try to navigate your way down the street by only looking in the rearview mirror? Would you do that? Do you think that by analyzing the shape of the road, you'd be able to tell what's coming up in front of you? Seriously, because technical analysis, that is a precise analogy. Precise. I mean, that's exactly what that people are trying to convince you that it is about. Or would you rather guide yourself down that road by actually seeing the road, seeing it, or navigating with a map, at least? That would make a lot more sense now, wouldn't it? So why is it that retail traders don't do that? Because they're dumbasses. It's a complex world. They think that they hear stories of this person or that person, these anecdotal few that are making money, that they must know the secret to unraveling this thing called TA. They don't know any secret. I'm telling you the flat out truth that technical analysis is bunk. Now, you can use it from a trend following type of narrative, to kind of provide some confirmation that your trend is going in the right direction. And you might think that you can, with some kind of statistical certainty, tell when something is overbought or oversold, which you can't. Markets can stay overbought or oversold far longer than you can stay solvent. Now, that's not to say that having an indicator that would give you these overbought, oversold, these signals would be. Oh my God, that's my daughter. I have to talk to her. Hold on. Hi, what's up? Yeah. All right, let me call you back in a little bit. I'm recording something, but there's no reason why you have to talk to him. No. I have no idea. Bye. My daughter got into an accident this morning. Actually, someone rear-ended her, and it's the first time someone has, she's been in that kind of situation, so she's just wondering what to do. So where was I? So we were going to talk about, we were going to analyze Bitcoin today using some forms of technical analysis. Now, I don't want to say that, all technical analysis is bunk. But I would generally say that if you're trying to find levels of support or resistance using trend lines or moving averages or using indicators that are showing overbought, oversold, or that are lagging, in general, most of those do not have any statistical significance to them. You are literally trying to drive and navigate these markets by looking in a rearview mirror with those types of systems. Now, volume profile, on the other hand, is a clear forward-looking indicator, and it's not even an indicator. It is actually prima facie the most visceral, actual data that is contained within the asset's price stream. I mean, there are basically three things that come in a price stream when you're looking at a chart. There's the price, the time, and the volume. So when you're looking at a volume profile, you're essentially looking at sort of a combination of price and volume. When you're looking at a chart, you're looking, a candlestick chart, you're looking at a combination of price and time. I mean, if that is fundamental to you, why wouldn't volume profile be fundamental to you? The thing is, with price and time, you're looking at more of a history. I mean, that's how you have to take it. It's more of a history of where price has been. It's kind of like the path that it has gone on. Where volume profile is very different than that. It is actually giving you a very clear indication about where people have traded, at what price people have actually bought stuff or sold stuff. And for the most part, or for a good portion of that, a lot of those people still hold those positions in that profile. So that's why I say it's forward-looking, because you're seeing with certainty where the market finds value, at what levels of price that the market finds value, and where it finds little value. And those are, where it finds value are the big nodes, and where it finds little value is where the big wells are. And then you can do all kinds of analysis on the edge of those nodes and so forth, and that's where you can see support and resistance. That makes sense. And that is forward-looking. That is looking out the front window of your car to drive. Now, another way that you can, and actually quite reliable and statistically certain way that you can, not certain, there's nothing certain, but that's kind of an oxymoron, a statistically relevant way that you can look at the market, a predictable way, is by looking at patterns that are developing. Not only patterns in price, but also patterns in volume. And examine how many other times in the past. This is kind of like, when somebody comes to an intersection, do they go straight, turn right, or turn left, right? Based on the conditions or their intent, they're going to do one of those three things. And depending on maybe what's on the right or what's on the left, they might go right more often than they go left or straight, right? I mean, that makes sense. And so if I could find that from a historic statistical pattern, I could probably predict with a high degree of certainty which way somebody's going to go when they get to that intersection. Life is like that. Just about everything that we do is based around our behaviors and the patterns of behavior. And given the proper context and enough occurrences in the past, we can look at that data and make PatternCast does. So I'm talking about two different things that I use for trading here and evaluating markets. One is volume profile, which is definitely... Now, volume profile doesn't tell me anything about behavior, where patterns do. Patterns will identify behaviors and context. Volume profile tells me about or future behavior, or decisions, I should say. Volume profile tells me more about what is most likely to happen in terms of behavior based on where the market is finding value and where it's not finding value. Where price, where it might be attracted to, where it might get rejected. How it will behave as it moves through these areas of market value and market no value. Now, this might make sense to some of you, might be kind of cloudy to many of you, but it's not so cloudy. It's actually far more clear and understandable than any technical analysis, which to me looks like voodoo. And some of it is voodoo. I mean, it's numerology. I look at things like the Tom DeMark or TD sequence of whatever. That is, without a doubt, that is numerology. Elliott wave is, 5 waves up, 3 waves down, and all these subwaves. That is numerology, based on another bit of numerology, the Fibonacci sequence, which everyone believes has some, or unlocks some mysterious secret in the universe. That also is numerology. I mean, that it is about as valuable as numerology or astrology. I mean, if you want to believe all that stuff, hey, fine. Fine by me. And if you think that you can make money and if trading is going really well for you, then believe that. Believe it, really. I mean, are you consistently profitable? I mean, like our service, have you made 13 out of 14 trades in a row? Or like our traditional PatternCast service for futures, forex, and stocks, which is very, it's basically the same technology as our PatternCast for Bitcoin. So that's how I use and we use at, our customers. We've got about 300 customers now. Things are going good. You want to hop onto the gravy train? That's great. Now, one of the things that's coming up for us, anyways, I mean, besides, I've been putting out a push there to try to educate people and alert them that, hey, we've got this service out here. You can come in and give you a deal. Use the code CRYPTO and get a big chunk of money off of our yearly subscription. Or just try the monthly. Try it out for a month. See what happens. If it doesn't work for you, fine. Go away. I don't give a shit. But one thing that we're working on in the future is we have a partnership. Actually, we're a what's called an approved third-party advisory of one of the biggest futures brokers and forex brokers in the country and in the world, and they want to do business with us because of the way we do business and the way we work with our customers, the technology that we use. That doesn't happen too often. You don't have brokers come out and say, hey, we want to do business with these guys. They've given us our own page on their website, on YouTube. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really am grateful for the people that have come in through YouTube, and there's a lot of people that I can reach here, etc. But it will pale in comparison to what I can do when a broker can get out there and do a mailing to a couple 100,000 people. And tell them about something that they recommend. So last night we had a signal to take a short. That signal, let's see, I'll show you what it looked like. As you can see, if you're following Bitcoin, let me show you. So we got this short, right about here. Right about here. Last night. Here, let me show you what it looked like. So here it is, right here. We had this short right here. Sell at 10,364 with a cover target of 97.92. There had been, over the past 4 years, there had been 6 occurrences of this pattern that it found. Here's the pattern, the BCFHILNORS. What is that? I have no friggin' idea. Only PatternCast knows. Because PatternCast can look at literally hundreds of thousands of different patterns on the fly. But anyways, it saw it happen 6 times, and every single time that this pattern occurred, price dropped. And it thinks that it will drop about 600 points. But we also got this other pattern. It said, hey, look at the way things are setting up right now. If price does drop down to 9,200, a drop as big as that, there's almost a 90% chance that it's going to move up again too. I mean, that one, I don't know, that's only 200 points, but it's kind of interesting. I mean, we don't know what it's going to tell us. That's the CG pattern. It sounds much more or much less complex than the BCFHILNORS. But when you get like a 6 out of 6, that's not bad. It's not a huge number of occurrences, but I don't have any, doubt in PatternCast now. I mean, I never did. I mean, we've been working with it for years and only have introduced it to the market for the past year, and this Bitcoin one for only the past 3 weeks because of its efficacy. But when I see things like that, I said, man, that's a great bet. We put that out last night. We put that out right about, right here, right at the very top, right there. That's where this pattern was released. That signal, right there. Right here, actually. 2,200 hours. It was a little after that. It was probably right here at 2,100 hours. It said, go short if we move up to 10,364. That's what it said. And it started to go down a little bit. And then whammo! Actually went all the way down to just under 10,000. And it popped back up. I think it will go down further. It said that it could go down, or the average move on this pattern would bring it down to 97.92. So that's down here somewhere off the picture. Let's see. That would be way down here. Right there. There's the expected move. I mean, it's already moved a little over 50% of that. Popped up a bit again. And then it looks like it will continue moving down to there. So that was last night's move. Now, there hasn't been much going on with PatternCast in the past few days. And it's been giving us kind of spurious calls here and there. Every once in a while, it'll give us a tiny little call. Like, I know it called this move over here. But not much has been happening. It's been keeping us out of the market. And rightfully so, because we've just been sitting in this 100-point range doing nothing. And finally, we're breaking out. Wham! Quick, 350 points. Bam, down. Maybe another 250 points left in this move. Because it saw a pattern. I don't know what the pattern is. Can you tell? I can't tell what the friggin' pattern is. I look at that and I'm saying, I don't see no friggin' pattern. But PatternCast saw it. That's because PatternCast is a computer. And it can see hundreds of thousands of patterns in a flash. And then compare them to the context that we're in this market. Now, from a... Go away. It's not my daughter, so I'm not going to answer it. So, yeah, we've gotten, in the past 3 weeks, 14 signals have triggered. And we've gotten more than 14 signals overall, but not every signal triggers, only the ones that set up. But 14 have triggered, 13 have been winners, had you taken that trade. Some people just choose to look at it. Say, oh yeah, that's cool. No, but I've taken every single one of those trades. And I've already made about, I don't know, I was looking at it, and I thought I had made about $400 on a $3,500 account, but it looks like I made a little bit more than that. Made about $550. So what is 550 on $3,500 account? So I've made about 16% in the past 3 weeks. Now, if I keep on doing that, what am I gonna? I'm gonna make what? That's crazy. I'll make maybe 250, 300% over the course of a year if that keeps up. Not bad. Not bad at all. So one of the things that I can tell from this is if we do break through the 10,000, there's a very high likelihood we will get down further based on PatternCast and based on volume profile. You can see how volume profile breaks down at 10,000 and we get this huge volume well. If we bring in more data, you can see it a little bit more readily. Let's bring in a 4-hour chart. And we can see how at 10,000, this volume node drops off dramatically. Even if I bring in more data, let's look at a daily chart. There we go. Trying to illustrate here that here's this big volume well. Here's 10,000, and you can see right on the edge of that volume node, it just drops down into the abyss. PatternCast seems to know something about volume wells because it's saying that it will come down to this green line right here. This one right there. I mean, that makes sense from a volume profile perspective. And it could go down as low as 9,200, which is way down here, which also makes sense. That's the low point. It's like volume. It's like PatternCast is a volume profile expert just by looking at patterns, things that happened in the past. That is so cool. I mean, I've noticed that. I've been noticing that for the past couple of years that we've been throwing these signals out there to people. That all of these pattern recognition things appear as if it is completely cognizant of the volume profile and where supply and demand are and where the market is finding value and where the market is not finding value. That is what's happening. That is what's happening with PatternCast. I mean, it's mind-blowing, quite frankly. Now, this, I'll get into my own kind of non-technical, this is kind of my fundamental analysis. This dotted vertical line here represents the day that the backed futures are going to be released. And my prediction is that the market's going to go down. Same prediction that I had back in 2017 when everybody was getting all hopped up on the CME Bitcoin futures and thought that the market would go straight up. Back then I said the market was going to go down, and it went down the day that CME futures were released. I think we're going to see a similar thing here. Of course, you're going to get the purists and the cultists out there that will say, oh, this time it's different because is backed by real Bitcoin, no, it doesn't make a difference. If you know anything about futures and cash settled versus commodity settled, then you would know the truth. And the real truth is that most people that are in this industry know nothing about futures, know nothing about the market, quite frankly. They are in it because they just happen to have thrown a bit of money at Bitcoin and got lucky, and now all of a sudden they're experts. So anyways, that's what I see happening. We'll wait to see what the signals give us for tomorrow, and whether or not this little drop here will come down all the way down to the average or the mean move of this trade, of this signal. And if that does, that'll be very cool. I would say that 70% of all the calls that have hit so far, all the signals that have hit so far that have been triggered, have at least reached the target or gone beyond it. Some have gone well beyond it. 70% of them have reached or gone beyond the target that we put out there. So that's something to consider. All right, let's see what people have to say. Mr. 999 is saying 1.2 quadrillion of notional derivatives, negative interest rates, central bank crypto. Who the fuck cares about all that shit? Libra band, gold sounds like a good idea. I don't know. That's just a bunch of stuff that's happening, and you're making a conclusion. I don't know what that is. What are good oil company stocks to invest? I have no friggin' idea. I would never invest in a particular gold or oil company. Maybe the futures, at least then you have an aggregate of the market. But, that, to me, unless you have superior knowledge, I would have no idea. What does PatternCast use to project its calls and statistical edge if not using TA? It uses pattern recognition. Hence the name, PatternCast. Yeah, it's all it does. It looks at patterns from previous data, and that's it. And that's it. As a matter of fact, PatternCast could just as easily be applied to sports betting or weather. It doesn't know anything about sports betting or weather. It just knows numbers and data. And yes, it was an excellent signal call at 10,364. Do you see a bounce back up there before breaking 10K? I have no idea. I am sticking with this trade. I trust and I have confidence in PatternCast because it's never let me down for years. Ever. From a statistical point of view. Where did you get your black box from and who owns it? We own it. What are we charging for it? No one can buy it. You can just buy the service. We own it. We created it. If the long entry is 92.21, wouldn't we want to hold a short until we get down there? Well, you see, the long entry, I agree, but I mean, it's not saying that price will get down there. If you see that price keeps on going down there, yeah, why not keep on holding your position from the short, I guess. Hunted Kid says, wouldn't those brokers screw us retail traders over? Well, they have been screwing you retail traders over forever. They've been feeding you technical analysis, which is all the training and courses and consultants and trainers out there. Where do you think they all came from? They all came from the brokers. Every single one of them, originally. They have been perpetuating and pushing this broker narrative to use technical analysis because it benefits them, not you. It causes you to trade more, which is all they care about. They have no desire to see you win. As a matter of fact, it costs them more to carry winners than losers. All they care about is transactions. How long has PatternCast been functional for stock exchanges? We've been putting out signals for over 2 years. Yeah, over 2 years. But it's been in development for much longer than that. It's actually been used behind the scenes, not giving it to other people, just behind the scenes for much longer than that. All Eyes thinks it's about to dump again right now. I don't know, let's check that. Let's go to like a 15-minute chart. Oh, I don't know. It might. It might. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, it looks like it might be rolling over. I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let's make that bigger so people can see. Much bigger. Yeah, so PatternCast called this right up about here. Right about there. Boom. Yeah, I think it's destined to go much lower. I would like to see it break through 10,000. I think it could easily break through 10,000. So I'm going to start doing a countdown. I'm going to be because we're setting up webinars and other things with the broker. I won't have time to do a lot of these videos. I'll probably do, instead of live streams, I will produce a couple of shorter videos. Like every day I'll put out maybe a 4 to 7 minute video. But for now, I'm telling you, up until my birthday, October 5th, we're going to be offering PatternCast the yearly with a $400 discount if you use the word crypto in the coupon. In the coupon code, crypto, CRYPTO. And if you pay in crypto, when you go through the checkout process, if instead of paying with your credit card, you choose to pay with cryptocurrency, I will refund you an additional $200, so you'll get $600 off. That's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal, considering that even on this trade, you may have made all that money back in that single trade. And then you'll have another year to go. But I trade really small, and I expect to take my $3,500 account and turn it into a $10,000 account by the end of the year just by following PatternCast calls. Maybe more. I don't know. I would think that as it gets bigger, I'll be trading bigger, so it could be a lot more. All right. That's what we have for today. All I says it's an insane deal, and he would know. It really is. I mean, if someone gave you something that was consistent, that was forward-looking, that had... I was just telling, our partner in the broker, I was saying, man, all this winning, it's kind of getting boring. And he laughed. Close PatternCast service to new people. Nah. No, because, like I said, we've got about 300 customers right now. I would like 3,000, quite frankly. 3,000, that would be cool. And maybe not all Bitcoin, some in the traditional market, some in Bitcoin and crypto. And we will be coming out with other crypto trades, like Ethereum and Ripple and Litecoin possibly. But we're working on that. It's a heady problem trying to get good data. really heady problem. If you are concerned that PatternCast might be a bunch of crap, go up to our website, take a look at the testimonials. If you go for the monthly and you decide not to do it, you think it is crap, I'll give you your money back. Can't imagine that happening. What I more see happening is going for the monthly and saying, shit, I'm just going to pay for the yearly. Which platform are you using for the $3,500 account? I'm using Kraken. Yeah, I don't use 10 times leverage. I only use 5 times leverage. I mean, I suppose I could go higher. And I only trade a small portion of my total capital. So I've been doing very, very small trades, and in 3 weeks I've made 16%. I'm fully aware that I could have thrown balls to the wall and probably made 500% in the past 3 weeks. Fully aware of that. But I like to just be nice and steady and just keep on going, like the turtle. Well, that's another great feature of the service is that we take great pride in the support that we give people inside of our private trading room from PatternCast. So besides the fact that you get this unbelievable service with an incredible edge, and I mean, there's no way to overstate that. You also get, on top of that, world-class support and a world-class trade room. I mean that alone is easily worth the price without the signals. And that's what's crazy about this deal. Anyways, we are now 44 minutes into this. All Eyes says that absolutely, I have no doubt you could literally make as much as you wanted if you chose. You got to be careful there though, because if your position sizes are too big and you had a couple of losses, that could really dig into you. But I realize fully that I could have gone and traded 2, 3, 4 times what I'm trading now and done a lot better with hardly any risk. But I don't know what the risk will be in the future, so that's why I trade small. Is there a way to purchase a 3-year deal? Well, there is. There's a lifetime purchase. So there is a lifetime, and then you would get both the traditional markets and the Bitcoin markets. So you would be in both rooms. So that is available to people. It's to members. It's a little over $2,500, and that's only until my birthday, October 5th. You got that? My birthday is October 5th. So if you're planning on doing a party, there you go. Now you know. All right. We are done here. I want to thank everybody for coming. Go down and hit the like button. I will be putting out tonight's call for those people, and I will be talking about PatternCast calls for the next 2.5, 3 weeks. And then we're going to be pulling back, and I'm going to probably only do these live streams once a week, and then the rest of the time I'm going to be putting out shorter videos. All right? That's it. Thank you all for coming, and we'll see you next time. Next video.